This is huge information because we finally have a direct contradictory claim, which means either the doctor is lying or the nurse is lying. One of them has to be evil. Now, whether they're the murderer or just the poisoner throwing things off, who knows? But to figure the rest of this out, I need to know player 5's role. And perfect timing, because Thea here is about to share with the class that she is the neighbor. The neighbor essentially works where every night you are told how many alive neighbors are evil. And I'll do you a favor and explain this to you in a more interesting way than reading it from a book like I did. So all of these houses are in a circle, which means every person has 2 neighbors, one on either side. Now, each night you find out of the 2 alive neighbors how many are evil. So let's go through the information that she got night by night. Night 1, her neighbors were player 2 and player 3, and she received a 1, meaning that one of the 2 are evil. Now, by night 2, one of her neighbors had already died. It was player 2, so her new alive neighbors were still player 3 and then also now player 1. And she claims she still received a 1, meaning that one of her alive neighbors was evil. And her neighbors have been the same ever since, and she's saying she got a 1 every single time. So this, assuming it's 1, either means that player 3 is evil, and that's why it stayed a 1, or both player 2 and player 1 are evil, which is why it would stay a 1 even though the neighbors had changed. Or there's a poison that's somewhere in there and that messes everything up, but I don't want to talk about it. Anyway, we see the doctor, which, if it's not clear by now, anytime I use anyone's role, I'm using massive air quotes above it. But the doctor goes to visit the Undertaker to see what she found out last night, and she was told, apparently, that player 4 was indeed the Guardian. And the 2 decide that this incriminates player 7 because that's who the Guardian thought it was. And then the public chat opens, and it is a mess. We have the Undertaker talking about it being player 7 because the Guardian seemed to be not lying, and then we have the nurse calling out the doctor because he was told there wasn't a doctor. So then the doctor starts fighting back, saying the nurse must be evil, and it is just pure pandemonium until player 7 makes a point that is so stupid that it's actually genius. Player 7 suggests that they don't vote anyone out today. Now, let me explain. So there's 4 people left alive, which means if they execute someone and they're wrong, then it's 3 people left, and the murderer kills someone that night, and since there's no Guardian left, the murderer will win because it's 1 murderer and 1 good guy. So if they skip the executing tonight, the murderer will kill a good guy, and then instead of picking between 4 people, they can pick from 3 people, which is slightly better odds. And while the group isn't happy about it, they decide to do just that. But unfortunately, this is where the project gets cut off. And as we know, this was already hard to solve when it was supposed to be completed, let alone an incomplete puzzle, but I'm still determined to figure this out. So I left a comment on that community post, basically being like, are you able to tell us who the murderer killed in that final night? Now, while I waited for a response, I turned my attention back to this image and the server IP that it had. Now, if I'm one thing, I am impatient. And if I'm 2 things, I'm impatient and a cheater. So while I don't think I was supposed to figure out this IP yet, most servers will have some number that is close to this. So while I can't reasonably guess what this number is, I can almost guarantee that this number is a 2. And you're probably like, oh, great job, Zach, only 5 more digits to figure out. Well, I was like, oh, what if every asterisk was replacing a 2? And I'm not kidding, it worked. When I first logged on, I thought I just had a random person's Minecraft server. It just looked like an SMP. But then I found this house, which exactly matches the one in the picture. I was in the right place. Probably the stupidest way I've ever solved a puzzle, but it worked. So this server forces everyone who joins it into adventure mode, which sucks, but doesn't stop me from finding things. I found some signs with the same names as the players on the document. So the link between all these players seems to be they all used to play on this SMP. I counted 5 total bases right here on the surface and then 2 hidden bases. One was right here, and then the other one I haven't found yet, but there's a sign that says, quote, "My hidden base is better than yours." It's something. The issue that I have is clearly someone knew seven bases, to the fact that every single member of this SMP was playing that murder game. So who set it all up?